Hi everyone and welcome to episode 47 of United City Randomiser. So quite a lot has happened since the last time we met. The last time I think that we were together was potentially for this game here, the PSG game. We had a big break in December because of the World Cup. And so the PSG game was the last game of 2022. We lost it and basically went out of the Champions League having had a really poor campaign. We played a lot of friendlies throughout December and they went quite well, giving lots of people an opportunity to play and get match fitness. Then we moved into January and again we lost in the Champions League against Basel 2-0, which ended our campaign in the group stages. It was a couple of years too early, maybe a year or two too early for us in terms of qualifying for the Champions League. It was an amazing achievement, but it really demonstrated how far we've still got to go with this squad of players. So the Champions League is done. So that meant that coming back from the Christmas New Year break, we had one more friendly to play, which was another good result. And that really got us a lot of momentum. Those friendly games helped. And we've since moved into January and back into the Bundesliga and done very, very well. You can see that we've played, what have we played? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. We've drawn 4, for goodness sake. Drawn 1 and won 4. And that was all a bit confusing, wasn't it? But what that's meant is that we've really got some momentum going. Everybody's played in these games at one point or another. It's looking very good for February. So in terms of what that's done for our league position, in 4th of February, which we are now, means that we're currently sitting in 5th place. Everybody's basically played 18 games, and I think we're looking pretty good. We're in contention for the couple of places above us. Leipzig are running away with it a little bit this year so far, but I think we're in close contention for those 2 or 3 spots above us. Of course, that also means that, look, right the way down to 9th, we're connected to them too. It's quite a close run thing at the moment. So I think we're looking pretty good. A couple of decent results over the next few weeks will really cement us again in these European spots, hopefully, as we move through the second half of the season. But as you can see, people like Dortmund will be coming at some point, and if we get a couple of poor results, we can drop quite dramatically. So that's where we find ourselves. Because we've had January, we have had a couple of bits of transfer business happen. But I just want to show you that we've still got 22 million in the bank in terms of our overall balance. We've got a bit of transfer budget left and wage budget left, which is very positive. Today we've got a game against Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are sitting, I think, in 11th. Yep, there they are. So before we get to that game, let's go and look at the transfer business that we did. And it was basically 2 bits. This third bit of, we've sold 3 players. This guy's a youngster, didn't really make an impact and wasn't good enough to move forward. So what we've done is we've got rid of Tiru and Gull. Now, the reason I got rid of them was when I looked at our squad page, we didn't have any particularly good depth in terms of our potential ability in our defenders. They were all sort of playing roughly where their abilities lie and weren't able to improve anymore. And I felt the need to sort of shift that about a bit and just get a couple of younger defenders in who have got bags of potential that can sit behind Kempf and Gimber at the moment, who will play for most of the rest of this season, I would imagine, and then potentially next season challenge for a particular position in the team. So yeah, Tiru and Gull have gone. We made about, what's that, about 6-7 million on them. We've spent more than we made just because we needed to get the potential in, but these are the 2 that I've got. I've got Oscar Horacio and Denilson. And Denilson is a youngster. He's 18 years old, so eventually he will qualify to be a homegrown club player, which is a real positive. You can see at the moment he's got some gaps. Things like his heading is not particularly great. I'd prefer a little bit of more determination, but it's not terrible. His physicals are pretty good. His tackling is decent. Teamwork is good. Work rate is good. Decisions are good. So, you know, there's some good stuff in there, and he's only 18, so I think that we can improve him, and if we can improve him, then I think we've got a decent central defender on our hands, and this is the point of it. Potential ability is potentially right up to 5-star. We'll see how that works out, how much game time he gets, etc. in the early stages might be key, and we will give him some, but not to the detriment of our league position this season. You see, he's only come in and basically played one game for us, and it wasn't a particularly good game, but that's fine. He will get the hang of how we play and what we want him to do in time. So that's Denilson. He's come in as a youngster, 18 years old. Another fairly young talent in Horacio. He's 21. He's Argentinian. So we've brought a Brazilian and an Argentinian in. And you can see at the moment his stats are better. Physically may not be brilliant, but he's not bad. Mentally, he's got some decent stats in terms of bravery, decisions, determination, teamwork, work rate, all of those kinds of good things. And then his actual sort of technical stats for his role in terms of heading and marking and tackling are pretty good. He's decent passing. He's a decent ball playing central defender, which is good. So he's got a decent first touch as well. So I think, again, given a little bit of time, the rest of this season into next season, I think this guy could be really, really useful to us. And again, he's got high potential, potentially, if we work well with him. And he's not too far from what we would consider the first team at the moment. So those are the two players that I brought in. I thought they were an upgrade in terms of long term on Tiru and goal, and will really give Gimba and Kempf a run for their money, probably from next season onwards, but we will give them game time this season. So that's all the transfer dealings that I wanted to do. I didn't want to rock the boat too much. I think we've got a decent squad for the Bundesliga. Obviously it needs to improve over time for the Champions League, but I think we can do that. But yeah, I'm hoping for a strong showing in the second half of the season. And that starts off with a game against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Oh, for goodness sake. That starts off against Borussia Mönchengladbach. And so let's get into the game and see what happens. So in terms of our team page here, you can see as we scroll through, these guys that are playing 1 through 11 are pretty much the players that have played the best so far this season. You can see, maybe other than the goalkeeper isn't much to choose from, but everyone else is slightly down on their ratings compared to this first 11 that I've been playing. So Klunter is in because he's been playing better than the other right backs. Mania has had a real problem. You remember he got 2 really bad injuries in terms of he was out for at least a couple of months, probably 3 months in total, and we've only had him for like 5, and so it's been a real problem because it's knocked his stats a little bit. It doesn't show so much here, but now he's surplus to requirements, and at the beginning he came in and was potentially going to be our first choice right back, so you can see that that's been a problem for him, and the likes of Breyer, at the same time that Mania hasn't been able to play, is still got lots of gaps around, but he again is one of our young 18-year-olds and won't be long until he's in a decent position to come and play full-time for the right-back position, you would imagine. So I think Mania was an unfortunate gamble in a sense of bringing in a decent right-back, which I thought was a decent right back, and he just hasn't turned out to be that, and things have moved on without him because of his injury, so he's lost his place to Klunter at the moment. But the rest of it's pretty much as you would imagine our first team side to be. Fabio Silva is playing very well and getting the goals, more so than Rollheiser has for the first half of the season, so that's why he's in the side. And Seiki has outplayed Burnich. So far this season. Burnich came back from an injury at the beginning of the season, never really got going. I'm not sure I totally expected him to. He plays a decent backup role, more so than he does as the main guy, and I think again as an 18-year-old Seiki is looking pretty good at this point, but we can continue to improve him with game time, which I suspect he's now going to get ahead of Burnich most of the time, so we'll see how that works out in the next few games. But so this is the team for today. Kabul in goal, Klunter at right back, Gimba and Kempf for central defence, DeMarco at left back, Saiki as the deep lying playmaker, Siflidis as the supporting central midfield role, Gravenberch as the Metzaler attack role, and we've got Gundogdu on the right, Davies on the left, and Fabio Silva up front. Decent sub bench, so yeah, I'm happy with the team at the moment. So in terms of team talk, I calmly suggested to them that the recent standings have Gladbach in 17th and we're in 1st in terms of recent results. So let's show them why. That didn't really get much of a reaction, but that's okay. But those stats are pretty good, aren't they? That we've been top of the league at the moment for recent form, so we've got to continue that today. So we're in our purple, they play in their white. And it's their home game, of course, so that always makes it slightly more challenging. But we're going for our controlled possession type of play and see if we can outplay them. I think that we've got every chance of doing so. So we get a chance to build up from the back, right the way from the goalkeeper into defence, and now they keep the ball very nicely, which is obviously what we're asking them to do in this style of play that we have. Eventually Davies finds it and goes on a mazy run on his right foot and powers it past the goalkeeper from the edge of the box. Lovely move. You can see at the back of the in the defensive area, we did what we said we wanted to. We kept the ball well. The possession was good. We found an opening for Davies, who went on a very direct run through the heart of their defence, found himself inside the area and right-footed powered it past the goalkeeper, and that was a really good goal. Good opportunity to show that we are in good form and we are happy to take the ball and try and dominate the game in terms of our possession. Here's a corner for them though. They get a decent opportunity, but Kabul's handling was very good, and he lets the ball out to Saiki, who moves it forward to Gundogdu, runs a little bit down the right and then puts the ball over the top for Silva, who gets a shot away, but the goalkeeper parries it. Davis on the cross back in, and another attempt goes slightly wide. But again, decent movement through the side. We had Silva on an opportunity, but the goalkeeper closed down the angle, and again the ball came in. Silva, I think, with a second header on that one, which was a very nice header, but very slightly wide of the goal. So on that occasion, decent build-up play, good couple of chances, but didn't actually take them, which was unfortunate. But you can see that we're dominating the game. More shots on goal for us, better possession stats for us. We're working very well. Gravenberch with a free kick, and the header comes in, I think again from Silva, but it goes over the top this time. Silva is the focal point of everything that we're doing, and whilst his rating isn't particularly high because he's missed a couple of chances, at least he's in those opportunities, and I think he's all in line for getting a goal maybe later on in the game. But here's an opportunity for them. They come and off a throw in and eventually work it through for a decent strike, again just slightly inside the area, and Muller gets a strike in, Tobias Muller that is, and Kabul didn't get to the his hands to the ball, unfortunately, which is disappointing because I felt he should have done a bit better there. But you can see they move it well, get their first time shot in, and it goes through the hands of Kabul, which was unfortunate, disappointing. I think he's shown that he's a decent enough goalkeeper at this level up through this season so far, but on that particular occasion was found wanting slightly, which is disappointing, and that leads us through to half time. And I must say that 1-1 isn't a bad result so far, half time, but I think we're better than that. I think we were playing better than that, and I think that we've got to really challenge them to go out in the second half and prove that we're better. We've been the better team. Keep doing what you're doing. We're favourites here. Go and give them a performance to cheer for. What shall I do? Let's go. Let's really kick them and say I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen. That's better. That's fired them all up and send them straight back out for the second half with a bit of a telling off ringing in their ears, and see if we can get a better performance from them in the second half. A more concentrated performance in the key moments. Here's an opportunity for us on the throw-in. Comes back to Klunter, who gets a second chance of a cross-in. And then the ball gets powered over the top of the bar. And yeah, it was a decent opportunity. Worked off a throw-in, which we do quite well. But again, the quality wasn't quite there when the chance finally fell. Another opportunity for a long cross-in. We lose the ball and Mönchengladbach break, but Klunter steps in and anticipates the play and gets the ball to Gundogdu on Gravenberch with a fine shot on the edge of the box, but it hits the post and goes out of play. Is an opportunity for a corner, and Kempf on the rebound from, I don't know who it was, who got the header in on the far post to bring it back across, but Kempf snuck in, and so it was Gimber and Kempf, the two defensive players, Was he onside? Was he offside? What are they going to give that? They're going to disallow it. That was so close, wasn't it, as an offside ruling? But, our two defensive players, central defenders, had a real good combination play there, and I think we were very unlucky. But they come forward with a very long speculative shot from outside the area, and it doesn't trouble the goalkeeper at all on that occasion. Again, on our right-hand side for a throw-in, and again, we were so close, weren't we? Watch this as the ball comes across from Gundogdu. It's Siflidis, and I'm not quite sure how he missed that. That was a bit of a poor miss, really. 71 minutes. It's time to make a change. So we're going to see who's playing well and who's not. Silva, he had his chances, didn't he? And he hasn't capitalised on that. So he's going to come off, and Rolheiser is going to come on, and Bischler's going to come on for Siflidis, who just missed that chance, and I wasn't very impressed by that. And then probably one of our fullbacks is the other opportunity that we've got. Klunter and DiMarco, and we're going to take DiMarco off just because De Silva's on the bench and Breyer isn't for us today for right side, so we'll take the left-sided defender off. That's got a bit more energy and conditioning into our side for the last few minutes throughout the team. Can we carve out one opportunity to really seal a decent win away from home, or are we going to have to settle for a draw? Looks at this moment like we're going to have to settle for a draw, but look at these stats. I mean, we're out shooting them, on target is good, the possession stats are good. They had a throw-in, but we cleared it very easily on that occasion, and it came to a bit of an anticlimactic end, really, didn't it? A 1-1 draw away from home is not a bad result at all, but against a side that are mid-table, and I thought that we were on a good run of form, so possibly should have done better. And I think the stats in the game suggest that we should have done better as well. So I'm going to say that wasn't good enough. That's fired them up for hopefully for next game. We're going to come out and see what that's done to our league position, and see who else has played and got what sort of results today. And then we're going to check out and see what the next match will be for when we come back again in a few weeks' time. They hold out for a draw. Davies plays well. We maintain an unbeaten record of 7 games, which is really positive. If you can hear any squeaking in the background, I've got a brand new puppy, by the way, and it's just lying next to me, and it seems to be chasing rabbits whilst it's sleeping. So apologies if you can hear any of that. So what's that done to our league position? Well, we're up into 3rd just because of the point, but you can see teams have got to play their 19th game around us, so that will change. What's coming up in the near future? Well, we've got Bayern Munich in a couple of games, so we always try and put them into the side, into the season, don't we? So we'll come back and play against Bayern Munich, and then we'll probably play the following episode again, maybe Leipzig, who are at the top of the table. So a couple of tough games for the next couple of episodes, but some winnable games around it, so hopefully we can keep the momentum going, keep the unbeaten run going, and see where that takes us. So that'll do it for this episode. If you're enjoying the series, why not subscribe to the channel and keep up to date with the videos. If you enjoyed the video itself, this particular episode, why not chuck a like on it? It helps me get seen by other people, which is really helpful to me. But yeah, other than that, until next episode, if you're playing Football Manager, as always, enjoy, and let me know what you're up to in your saves in the comments below, or join me on my Twitter feed. And yeah, join my journey of the United City Randomiser save. It's great to have you with me. I hope to see you again next time. A couple of days from now, there'll be another episode out, so keep an eye on that. But for now, I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Thanks very much for watching this episode of the United City Randomiser save. If you enjoyed the video, then why not click on the like button, as that would really help me. If you think you know anyone who would really enjoy my Football Manager content, then feel free to share this with them. But most importantly, if you would like to join my United City here on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with my video releases. If you have anything you want to say about the United City save or the channel itself, then feel free to leave a comment below, but please try and be nice with each other. That'll do for today, so until next time, stay happy and healthy, and I will see you soon.